The budget is balanced on the backs of working families and children in Pennsylvania. There is no shared sacrifice. It's a $1.1 billion cut in basic education funding. All that means is that local communities, hard-working families, and communities across the Commonwealth are going to be forced to have to raise their local property taxes. The budget is a 50% cut in the funding for higher education. So every publicly related higher college and university in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, from Penn State to Temple to Lincoln to Cheney to University of Pittsburgh to Westchester, IUP, Bloomsburg, Clarion University, every one of them, Shippensburg, all of them are looking at probably, because of they're going to be confronted with a 50% cut. These numbers go back to all the way, we haven't been at this low since 1985. 26 years ago is when we were at these numbers. All right, more than likely there'll be 20 to 25% tuition increases. Some campuses may have to close down, all right? Some colleges may be shuttered. And definitely there'll be workforce reductions at every one of these institutions. And it won't just be one or two or three or four, there'll be significant ones.
And let's talk about workforce development. That was another part that the governor touched on in his speech.
The governor tried to streamline some programs, which we agree with. He, in fact, adopted some of our principles in our PA Works program. But I think he went too hard and too dramatic in certain areas. There's almost a 33% cut in some of the workforce training and economic development programs. That's not going to work. In our HEMAP program, which deals with the Homeowners Emergency Mortgage Assistance Program, which basically, in short, helps families when they're in foreclosure trouble or about to go into foreclosure trouble, that program has been eliminated. Historically, if you were about to go into foreclosure, all you had to do is call up the HEMAP program and the foreclosure process would stop immediately. And the HEMAP people would step in and renegotiate your mortgage situation. Well, that program is eliminated. There'll be no help there. The Housing and Redevelopment Assistance Program, which is set up to help small communities across the Commonwealth revitalize their neighborhoods and revitalize those communities, that program is eliminated right there. So for working families, small communities, eds and meds, the big drivers in the economic realities of southeast and southwestern Pennsylvania, this is a bad day. And again, there is no shared sacrifice. And that's the thing that we've got to mention here. The corporate community just this past week, the first week of March, got a $200 million tax cut from the governor. And that was before the budget was introduced. Now there's almost another $750 million in tax cuts projected for the corporate community. That's not fair. There's not a shared sacrifice here. It indicates a trend that is happening here. And I have to say this. The owners of the Marcellus Shale industry, which is now Shell and BP, because folks need to understand those guys have come in and bought up everybody else. Those owners and those corporate partners, they are laughing themselves all the way to the bank. They're sitting there in their wood-stained corporate boardrooms, wood-paneled, wood-stained corporate boardrooms, and their marble desks, and they are sitting there, and the tax and fee that they had planned on paying, the tax and fee that they pay in West Virginia, the tax and fee that they pay in Oklahoma, the tax and fee that they pay in Texas, in Alaska, in just about every other state where they're operating in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, once again, if this budget proposal becomes law, they don't have to pay it here in Pennsylvania. So in the richest deposit of shale in the nation, one of the richest deposits of shale in the world, let's be real clear on this, all right? There is no fee that has to be paid by this industry. These guys are having a ball. They're having a good old time at the expense of Pennsylvania taxpayers. They don't pay, so when they don't pay, local property taxes have to be raised. When they don't pay, tuition increases have to go up because colleges and universities are cutting their budget funding. When I say it's not a shared sacrifice, we can point right there. It's unfair, it's not right, and we're going to work with our Republican counterparts. We're going to work with this governor to try to get a little balance in this situation.